In this video, we're going to compare unit costing using both a two-stage and a single-stage cost allocation model. We're told that Donovan & Parents produces soccer shorts and jerseys for youth leagues, and most of the production is done by machine. And we've got data on operations and costs for March. We've got units information, machine hours, direct labor hours, direct material cost, direct labor cost, as well as, of course, total manufacturing overhead, which isn't allocated to either one yet. That's going to be the point of our exercise. So we're going to need to allocate that $22,069 in manufacturing overhead cost using a single stage as well as a two-stage allocation model. Let's begin with our traditional one-stage model, and we're going to assume that we're going to allocate overhead based on machine hours. So an allocation based on machine hours. The first thing we need to do is pick up our total manufacturing overhead, which again was given, and we're going to pick up our total machine hours, which is also given information. We then calculate our predetermined overhead rate by taking the 22,069, dividing it by 1,830, and we get an estimated predetermined overhead rate of $12.06 per machine hour. We pick up our direct material and direct labor costs, which again, simply given information. Then we're going to need to allocate our manufacturing overhead. And we're going to do that again based on machine hours and our predetermined overhead rate. So we worked 1,030 machine hours at a rate of $12.06. We'll allocate $12,421 to jerseys. For shorts, we had 800 hours. 800 times the 12.06 gives us 9,648. And as a check, we make sure the allocated cost of $22,069 equals the cost we had to allocate. Last thing we need to do is sum up our total cost, direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead for the jerseys, for the shirts, and in total. Then the last step we want to take is we want to take our total cost for each one of our products and divide it by the number of units that we have produced. So we take the 29,921 divided by 9,500 jerseys and 5,800 shorts, and we got cost per units of $3.15 per jersey and a cost of $3.63 per pair of shorts. In the next part of this problem, we're going to use the same information, but we're going to allocate costs using a two-stage model. In our two-stage model, we've broken down our overhead cost into two different cost pools, machine-related and material-related. Our machine-related, we're going to allocate based on machine hours, and our material-related, we're going to allocate based on total direct material costs. So, first thing we're going to do is calculate our predetermined overhead rate for machine-related costs. And then the second part will be calculating our predetermined overhead rate for material-related costs. So we need to pick up the costs that are machine-related. We've got utility cost of $3,910, depreciation of $7,969, and miscellaneous things we couldn't really figure out what to do with, $3,310. So total machine-related costs are $15,189. We had total machine hours that we looked at before were 1,830. So we take the 15,000, divide it by the 1,830, and we get a predetermined overhead rate of $8.30 per machine hour. Note, if we were doing this after the fact using actual cost and actual activity levels, these would simply be actual overhead rates rather than predetermined overhead rates. But again, typically we go with predetermined overhead rates because we want to price our jobs and products ahead of time. Let's go ahead and take a look at our direct material related costs. We had supplies of $2,790, purchasing and storing cost of $4,090 for a total cost that related to materials of $6,880. We're going to divide that by our total direct material cost, which was given up above, and we get a predetermined overhead rate for material related costs of 32 cents. This means that every time we assign, or I shouldn't say assign, but every time $1 in direct material cost goes to a job, we also allocated 32 cents in material related overhead. And every time a job incurs 1 hour of machine time, we're going to allocate $8.30 to that job or product. Now that we've got our predetermined overhead rates, we simply need to allocate our overhead cost to our two products. Our first step, just like above, will be to directly trace our direct material and direct labor cost to the individual products. And we are given that numbers for shorts and jerseys. Now we need to come with our manufacturing cost allocation. And we had two machine-related predetermined overhead, we had two predetermined overhead rates, one for machine hours and the other one for direct labor cost. Let's do the machine-related overhead first. So for our machine-related overhead cost for jerseys, we had worked 1,030 hours, and we're going to multiply that by a rate of $8.30 per hour. And for our shorts, we're going to take $8.30 per hour multiplied by 800 hours. Ignore those dollar signs in that pop-up box. And as a check, we want to make sure the total overhead we've allocated to those two products that's machine-related does indeed tie to our cost allocation or total cost assigned to the machine-related pool above. The next step, material-related overhead. And again, this is simply based on direct material costs. Every time we incur $1 in direct material cost, we assign 32 cents in overhead. So for the jerseys with $12,700 in direct material cost at 32 cents per dollar, we end up allocating $4,064. For shorts, we take the $8,800 and multiply it by the 32 cents and get $2,816. Again, checking to make sure that we have fully allocated all of our costs. Let's go ahead and total them up now. Our total cost, direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead for the jerseys is $30,000. And for the shorts, it's $20,856 for a total of $50,969. Now we need to take our total costs per product and divide it by the number of units produced, and that will give us our cost per unit. So for jerseys, we have $30,000 in cost. We produced 9,500 units for a total cost per unit of $3.17. For shorts, we have a total cost of $20,856. We produced 5,800 units for a cost per unit of $3.60. We can compare this to the costs we got using our one-stage model of $315 for the jerseys and $363 for the shorts. From a cost-benefit perspective, if period after period we keep getting similar cost estimates using both models, it probably doesn't make sense to use a two-stage model. We have to collect additional information regarding machine hours per unit, labor cost or material cost per product, which actually isn't bad because that's going to be in our costing system. But we might want to think about simply using a single allocation base.